I guess our first serious interactions were at CYO weekly dances that back in those days were held at Holy Cross Parish across the street from here and at St. John's College. And that got to be a regular Saturday night event for us to meet there. And I guess we did that for months and months, and that evolved into going steady.
Our first date was going to the movies, seeing Father Goose way back when. And then in our early years of dating, we went to Good Counsel's prom. That I think was the actual really big date. And wouldn't you know it, his dad said he could use his car, which his dad never let him drive his car anyway, and we're in an accident. And he handled it so cool and calm, and I thought, man, this is really a keeper. He was had his whole being together and handling this accident. Meantime, I'm all upset as to what happened. But we started dating, I guess, in the senior year of high school. His senior year, my junior year. The calls were more frequent, the going out. That was our dating.
This is probably not the answer she'll give, but I go to all these dances, and women would line up to dance with me. And I don't dance, so Denise was the only one there that didn't try to force me to dance. So I figured that's the kind of woman I want to marry.
I saw the reason I thought he was the one was that he was very easy to get along with, very easy to be with, very comfortable. You felt safe with someone like that. He has a great wit. That Irish sense of humor is attractive and friendly, and just nice to be around. And I think those qualities have been really what have helped him to be successful in his career as a banker. Just people are drawn to him.
It was going to be a special occasion, and I just thought I had to come up with a special method of getting her to believe that I really loved her and wanted to marry her. So I decided that I would tie it into religion, and that's a good place to start, I guess, a marriage. So I looked through a bunch of small paper prayer books, and I came up with a book that had a poem in it that I thought was very appropriate to our relationship. So I scotch taped the ring to that page and gave it to her after midnight mass on Christmas.
I was surprised. I mean, we'd been talking about it, but I was surprised that it was going to happen midnight mass, but it couldn't have been more perfect time because midnight mass seemed to be our date, our standing date that we'd always do, and we still do it to this day. We took the kids when they were little. We never missed a midnight mass. It just was our standing date. How did I know he was the one? Well, I prayed to the Holy Spirit to give me the advice that this is the person I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with, to take the sacrament of matrimony with, to be a partner to help to get to heaven with us together.
The simple answer to that is anything that has to do with our family, whether it was the birth of the 5 kids, whether it was family celebrations, which obviously were numerous because of the quantity of people in our family. Family vacations, we tried every year to take the whole family together, usually to someplace different, where we all celebrated together for a week. So those are the things and we try to continue those even to today. So those brought me great happiness over the years.
Just having fun and delight. Showers, preparations for baby showers, weddings, or all those things. I share my talent of making cakes, and I made the wedding cakes for 2 of my daughters.
Denise is the most creative person that you'll ever meet. I mean, when she throws a party, it's an extravaganza.
Not quite, but thank you. And I think one of my best things is just having the family be a unit, one for all and all for one. Promoting family life and keeping prayer as a part of our family life. We would, during the seasons, we would say the rosary at dinner, during October and in May. And then we would have the Advent prayers before dinner, before Christmas, and we would do stations at Lent. And to include this in and among all of the activities that the children were in. And they were in many, because, sometimes Erin, who's the third child, I didn't think she would learn to walk because she was always carried in a car seat somewhere to some game or some practice. But keeping up with the children's activities in daily life, but making sure that there was a strong element of God within it all.
Well, I was brought up in a very Catholic environment. My parents took all our kids to church every Sunday. I don't know if we ever missed. And that carried over to our relationship between the two of us and how we raised our family. I think we gave all of our kids a very good basis for a good Catholic upbringing. They never made us feel ashamed of anything they did. Even to today, we still say the rosary every night together. And I don't think we've missed Mass except when we watched it on video here the past couple of months in our entire marriage. And it's just not something I can ever think of doing anything without is religion. And I think our kids see that, and I think their kids are starting to see that, and I see it translating right into that generation. So that makes me very happy.
And one of the, you see this often, and I like the phrase, preach the gospel, use words if you have to. And I think that is an example of what we have tried to give to our family. These are practices that are important. They are the core of your faith, and they themselves are good Christian people, and I see them raising their children as good Christian people with the knowledge of the Catholic background and practicing the Catholic religion. Everyone going to their first communions, and we're in the midst of confirmations happening now with the age groups. So they're all seem to have taken up or have, been marinated in the phrase of preaching the gospel. Using the words if you have to, just by role models. Role modeling, I think, was the big key as to how our children we see our children have passed on their legacy to their children now.
A good example is at our anniversary Mass. I think almost every grandchild and our children for sure had a reading part, either a prayer of the faithful or did one of the actual readings or brought the gifts up. So we made sure that we included every possible family member in that celebration.
This is the picture. This is the picture I feel that moves me the most. And you asked me why, and I said because this is our walk into the future. And you never know when you walk down that aisle what your future's going to bring. And what did it bring us? 5 children.
That's correct.
How many grandchildren?
15.
And my mother, my 95-year-old mother, is still alive. March 6th, 2021, celebrated 50 years of our wedding that happened on March 6th, 1971. And we were fortunate that the same day, Saturday, and the same hour in the church were all free. And so Father Hughes is the one who spearheaded the idea of, well, we're going to have a Mass, and we can have a Mass just for your group. And it just kind of unfolded from there with the help of Joe Ryan and the music. And it meant a lot. I couldn't believe how it just continued to unfold. It's almost as if it was meant to be as it was.
Did you use some of the same songs and readings?
We used the same readings, but we did not use the same songs.
It would have been special no matter where we did it. Not sure the place was the driver for me, but it was special because I grew up in that parish. Believe it or not, I was an altar boy for the first Mass that was said at that new church. I'd make visits there from time to time, and in my mind it was always my home church. And to be able to go back and recreate almost exactly where I sat for my wedding was special. And Holy Redeemer will always be special to me no matter what parish we live in.
For me, it was like the full circle experience, going back to where you began. And the other thing is, I felt is here, these children are here to see and witness their grandparents. Witness the commitment to each other, good or bad, and that God helped you through it.
Well, I'm not sure how many years ago, making it to my 50th wedding anniversary became a real life goal for me. And that's all I thought about. And I said, if I could just make it to that anniversary and accomplish 50 years, I'm a happy man. And I counted down the days almost waiting to get there. And so that was rewarding. I don't have too many friends or peers or people that I hang around with that have made it to 50 years. So to me,
true.
It's quite an accomplishment. And I'm not sure that a lot of people that I associate with have any thought about how many years it's been, or how important it is to make it another couple to make it to 50. So I felt that it was quite an accomplishment. And I'm happy we made it. I'm a lucky person I made it. And it was just a very meaningful day for me.
I've learned to accept that he can't dance as much as we went to the dances and danced. He surprised me one Valentine's Day with dance lessons. There was a dance studio on the top of in Bethesda somewhere, and we had a lot of fun. But that was the time I accepted, he's just not dancing. It's fun.
I think it's amazing that after 50 years, we still regularly talk to each other. I don't refer to her as my wife as much as I refer to her as my girlfriend.
True.
And after 50 years, to be able to say that, I think is a tribute to her and to me that we both have that kind of relationship.
On our 50th anniversary, at the evening, I have a red box that I kept all the letters that he wrote to me when I was in Frostburg. And it's funny, in those letters, he still addressed me as girlfriend.
Still do.
And never realized it. Kept it on all this time.
Yeah. I introduce her to a lot of people that don't really know me as my oldest daughter. And believe it or not, most people buy that. I think one thing that I find is hard to do is continue to be a good listener after all these years. And I think it's as important to listen now to my girlfriend than it is than 45 years ago. But sometimes you got to make sure that you're not looking at some of your interactions as routine. And I know what she's going to say. I'm not really going to listen. But I do have a hearing aid, and that does tend to not come around too much. I think that it's still important to be very good partners and to continue to do as many things together as we did when we were first married. And I think we do a pretty good job of doing that. I don't think either one of us ever been in the grocery store alone. That's how together we are. I think that I have to continue to keep my sense of humor to overcome some of the other challenges, but I can do that pretty well. And then to come back again to a joint prayer life. There's still so many things to pray for, good things and bad things, that the two of us need to continue to work on making those highlights of what we deal with every day.
Men and women communicate in different ways. Everybody says, communication, open communication, but being a teacher, I know sometimes when I thought that I have communicated the correct idea and said it as best as I can, and then there's kids that still don't know what they're doing. So I think you still have that same kind of idea when you talk to your husband. Communication is a different thing. It's as different and it's such an individual thing. And everybody says communication is the basis of everything. I'd like to add to strive to keep that honeymoon feeling alive. Sometimes doing unexpected things that just say, I love you because you did that unexpected thing. You know, even if it's you bring up a cup of coffee, well, maybe you bring up the second one too. You know, you're showing thoughtfulness and respect for your partner, and that keeps, I think, that love feeling alive. Sometimes saying I love you isn't enough. Sometimes love hurts, and you have to, you know, understand. I mean, God loved us, and look how much He hurt. Forgiving 70 times 7 is more than 70 times 7, and that overlooking line is a very true statement. Becoming a beautiful family means that you have taught each other to be totally thoughtful towards each other and very respectful towards each other. And you can't do that without having God as your center. There's 3 people when you're on the altar. You, your husband, and the Lord. And you carry that with you on your journey.